FaZe have just lost to FUT, F-U-T, meaning they're not even making the playoffs of the Asia Championships. And is this a disaster? Is this the end for FaZe? Okay, let's calm down. It's maybe not that bad, but I still think it's not a great look. And you look at the result, and immediately, first thing that shines to me is that they weren't able to win their map pick. Already concerning. Secondly, looking at the stats, I mean, Jacob, I thought we brought in to give a little bit of that youth, a little bit of that firepower. Well, he's bottom of the board below Carrigan. It's not ideal, okay? It's not ideal. And I want to get into this because I think that picking up-and-coming players and prospects, like, there's obviously merit to that. There's obviously a time and a place for that. But I think some of the people that are sort of defending the Jacob side of things, I'm not blaming the player. I just think from the management's perspective, I just don't agree with picking him up for a few reasons, okay? We can get into the specifics of the matchup, and we can see, firstly, in these maps, FUT were winning the clutches. Like 3-0 here in clutches on the first map, 1-0 on the second map. That's not really like what we're used to seeing from FaZe, right? We want to see them as the experienced team looking confident here. But you also see I tweeted out basically saying I think Jacob needed to move to someone like Heroic or Gamer Legion or Fnatic first to take the risk on. And I think FaZe should be getting proven players from those sorts of teams or the prospects that are just too good. Like when there's someone like Kyosuke or whatever, you're like, okay, this guy's going to be ready. He's just that cracked, right? And I see some people replying basically saying, there was the same argument when Brokey joined FaZe, and he went on to do a lot of great things and be successful, right? And there are obviously some caveats to this FaZe run so far. Like, they haven't had the practice time, right? They haven't really had the chance. They were jet lagged. There's like all this going on. They even played against Tai Lu earlier in the day, which always can throw in some weird results. When you're playing 2 games in the same day, you don't get the same prep time. You could maybe be tired, right? I get all of this. The problem is, I just don't massively see the upside in picking up someone like this. And here's the question, right? Do you think if FaZe had waited like 6 months, do you think someone would have swooped in and took Jacob? Like, I don't think so. I don't think this was that sort of player, right? He's like a pretty good up-and-coming player, right? And I think you just kind of have to look at the amount of events he played. Like, this guy had not done much, right? Like, he hadn't done that much, and he also hadn't really, like, been incredible at the events he'd been at. Like, look, he'd been at a couple of LANs. He'd been at this PGL Bucharest against top teams where his rating was and then this Fragadelphia as a LAN was basically against, like, not very good teams, right? And the problem is, specifically where FaZe are at right now, they don't have time to develop a player like this. I don't think they do. Right? This team should be in win now mode. I think that's a big difference here. This team should be in the situation they should be thinking right now is we need to get players and make the most of these chances while we can, right? Especially when you have someone like Carrigan on the team. Say what you want about Carrigan. We know he's coming towards the end of his career, right? You look at this lineup, Carrigan ready to win now. Frozen ready to win now. Twist ready to win now. That's a signing you make when you want to win now. Brokey, I think Brokey is decent. I don't know if he's such a good player that he should always be winning tournaments, right? He's someone that I would maybe say is like not incredible, but he's obviously a good player for tier 1, right? This is not the time to be taking a risk on an up-and-coming player, right? It's just not. It's not ideally what you want to be doing here, right? And the example I will use is in football, Arsenal right now, they've been building their project for a while. They've been building it up. And in this transfer window, for the most part, they did not go out and buy the guys that are like the projects and the young players that have the high potential, right? They realized they need to win now, and they bought like Jokeres, who is, you know, prime age, and they know that he's going to be a good striker. They didn't take a risk on like a 22-year-old who they think could be good, right? They just bought the guy that they thought was most likely to be good. I think that's what FaZe should be doing right now. Because if you have Carrigan, you know, if you had like LeBron James winding down his career, why would I put him with a rookie who hasn't even shown all that much promise, right? It's not like Jacob is this guy that you have to get, and if you miss out, you're screwed. Like, there are probably like 5 or 10 guys on Jacob's level that you could probably pick up pretty easily. That's my feeling of it, right? And I also think, it's not Jacob's fault, by the way, because I also think FaZe is probably the worst team to put a rookie like this into. because the team is just generally quite loose and it plays quite different from a lot of the up-and-coming teams. And from what I saw, Jacob, on his old team, they were playing a lot of more structured rounds, I would say, a lot of more like set play rounds, at least from what I saw. And I don't think that works in FaZe, where it feels like you need players to make decisions themselves and to make things happen a lot more, right? We've seen when Twist has come in, he's been really effective and successful at that. There's a lot more freedom almost given to you, and that's the way Karrigan oftentimes likes to call. But if you're a rookie coming into the team, it's just going to be so hard to do that, right? And again, I just don't see the upside. When I watch Jacob play, I think he could turn into a pretty good player, like a pretty good player for tier 1, right? That's what I see him as, right? And that feels like the peak, right? Whereas the floor is like maybe he's not quite good enough for tier 1. Because so far, I think we are seeing, in general, he has some rounds, and the majority of rounds, I'd say, he looks pretty decent. Then he has some rounds where he maybe, has some, nerves or jitters or messes things up slightly, and you're like, okay, that's to be expected. But I haven't seen anything from this guy to make me think he can bring that extra firepower, or he's just so good that you had to get him, right? And that's the confusing part about this. We obviously had Twist. Let me play you what he said.
As a team.
I mean, with Jacob, we've had 4 days of practice, and that was before EPL. And then we had no practice during EPL because we play with rain. And then we travel straight from EPL, our very last match, to here and play the next day after arriving. So, yeah, it's not a surprise, right, that the maps are really messy. You can't expect people to remember a playbook from 3 weeks ago and use it flawlessly. And
And I do think this is true. And honestly, I think for the most part on T side, I don't think Jacob's done that much bad, because from what I've seen in a lot of rounds, he is just kind of getting sent in first and he's actually doing okay, right? So I think it's like understandable way saying this. But the problem is, you look at the numbers, okay? Let's start on the T side at this event, right? Everyone's numbers, for the most part, I'd say are pretty good. Like, Twist and Brokey doing pretty well. I think Frozen, this is a little lower than what you would like, but as we were saying, the T sides were looking pretty like loose and not fully up to speed yet. Jacob 0.95, I actually think that's okay. Karrigan 0.93, I think that's okay too. You look at CT side, right? And you heard Twist, he was talking about the system and the playbook. That is much more of a T side thing, right? CT side, Jacob 0.77, man. And like the other players are doing pretty well. And again, Karrigan's doing all right. And I think Karrigan's numbers have probably slightly improved because it seems to me like when I'm watching the game, he's getting more chances to frag himself, because I do think Jacob is having to get put in like quite a few of the tough roles, at least from what I'm seeing. But it doesn't really work with the whole narrative that it's the playbook that is causing like issues here for Jacob if it's the CT side where he's struggling, right? That is the concern, right? Now, obviously, everything I think is more nuanced, right? And you have to look at rounds, and we'll do that. And I wanted to start with this round, okay? Because I think this is a good example where it just doesn't quite look like Jacob's 100% on the same page. And again, there have been like this for a lot of players on this team throughout this tournament, right? There's been a lot of scenarios where they haven't fully all looked on the same page. But this one to me is like a very obvious example where it feels to me like he should just instinctually realize what's going on, okay? So we got this position, right? I can draw on the minimap now, by the way, guys. Look at this. Whoa, there we go. We got FaZe. Okay, they're going into B. B's clear. It's looking good for them, right?
Might be able to get here in time to cut them down with this AWP. Here goes Symmetry, misses the shot.
Also want to say, this Symmetry guy, because I'll talk about FUT Esports, he was missing a lot of shots, okay? Unfortunately, I don't think he's quite it. I think on this team, Lounx and Demon look like the two players that I think could do something in the future. They look very exciting. Demon especially. He had some cracked aim in this series. But we'll continue.
Shot. Yeah, neither that. Goes back again. Smoke is up this time.
So we've got the site. Brokey at the back here had the bomb.
We're face putting all the...
Oh, why? Am I on 2x? No, okay. So Brokey at the back here had the bomb, number 2. You'll see he's coming to the site. Someone needs to hold tunnels, right? Someone needs to hold tunnels. We've got to figure that out.
Place it. Actually,
it feels like I'm on 2x, but it's telling me I'm not. I'm so confused. Let's try that.
As well. This is incredibly unlikely.
3v4 on the site, right? Jacob here, I feel like he's got to be just smoking the tunnels, no? Double doors is smoked. You can see that on the map, right? We've got doors smoked. We've got window. It looks like it's mollied. Jacob has a smoke in hand. just turn around and smoke the tunnels. Smoke this off, right? You know there could have been a flank. Like, there's no reason there couldn't have been if we look back at the round.
Able to get here in time.
Like, we were just in the tunnels. We had no map control elsewhere, so they could easily be flanking pretty quickly.
Get place and actually getting a kill as well. Makes this incredibly unlikely and ill-advised, but it's loud.
Instead, he's standing at the box. He doesn't even get caught here, though. It's okay. It can be figured out, right? We've already got people holding the window. It looks like Twist is doing that. We're good.
To make the last-ditch effort.
But then the smoke comes in, and now no one's really holding tunnels.
Flash, he's committed to this. Laux just running right through. It's absolutely massive.
Oh! And he just gets the 3 kills. And I think it's just something that someone on FaZe needed to figure out sooner, but I do feel like that should be immediately Jacob's first thought process. Look around you. Okay, I just got to hold tunnels, right? I can smoke it. I can just hold it. I can do whatever. But instead, it goes the other way. And you might also be confused why he's frozen out in the open.
Flash, he's committed to this.
I actually think this is quite a smart anti-play from frozen early, because you can see the CTs have mollies here. This car position is so commonly going to get mollied. I think sitting there in the off angle is actually a good move. But instead,
running right through, it's absolutely
this happens.
massive.
And you'll see at the end, Frozen actually even says,
time damage, they too deep. Absolutely. Yep. As the AK-47, they had no idea he could find 3 kills. Yep. He's out tunnels, my friend. He's not waiting for anyone. The smoke does not.
And I think that's broke in the end, being like, somebody's told tunnel, right? And there's a couple different things that could have been done here, okay? Firstly, you could just have Brokey not having the bomb at the back in the first place, because you see, Brokey's the one with the bomb initially kind of hanging back, right?
FaZe putting all the
But I do think at this
utility
point,
in place, and
when Twist gets this window kill, I feel like it becomes kind of obvious, right? You've got the double doors smoked. You've got a couple of players on the site. I think Jacob's got to realize it at this point. Anyway, that's one example, right? But I also want to say, breaking down rounds is never that easy, okay? Because you're looking here. This is just from the Reddit thread, right? Twist interview at the end, blah, blah, blah. Karrigan needs to start valuing his life, especially mid to late round. That dash 2 mid flash killed me. And then they're talking about the flashing, self-flashing through the smoke, right? And that was a big mistake, right? Well, if you actually look at it,
Mid smoke this time.
this is the round I'm pretty sure they were talking about, right? It's 8-8. And take a look at Twist. Take a look at Twist and his util.
2 players.
Twist pulls out the flash alongside Karrigan. And so I'm pretty sure what he's trying to do here,
Is in the B bomb side, frozen.
I think Karrigan's dropping this flash literally as a decoy so that these players turn away, and then Twist's flash from behind will come in and just blind them, boom. Because they'll flick away from Karrigan's flash, they'll flick back, and if you time it right, there's literally no way you can dodge the flash. It's a pretty common play, it's a really cool one.
The thorn in their side, Karrigan.
Instead, you hear there, those flashes basically went off at the same time. I honestly think they just timed it slightly wrong. I think that's what happened there.
It's a crazy.
And so instead, they're not quite blinded. Demon's able to just hold it and get the kill, right? So that's an example where it's like, it looks silly at first. I think
the solo flash.
yeah, you see, even like in the moment, it's so easy to not realize that when you're just watching a game. And that's why, like, you can't just look at rounds and immediately think you know what's going on, okay? You've always got to look back. You've always got to look back, and there's so many little things that could be going on. You're not getting the comms. So it's never that easy. But we'll go through some of these rounds, because I will say the big concern for me outside of the Jacob part, where I think I've touched on the fact that I just don't see the upside being worth the risk of bringing this new experienced player in, right? It's like, if I thought he had the potential to be a genuinely great player, then yeah, take the risk on him, right? I don't see that. I don't see that he's got this amazing upside that you have to develop. And so I don't really see why you need to take this risk when Karrigan is not going to get that many more chances to win tournaments, right? That's my take on that. But I also think a big problem outside of just the Jacob part is that on Ancient, FaZe just like could not win rounds on T side. They just did not look like they were winning rounds where they were in control at any moment. There was never any push or pull. There was never any great team play or tactical play to win rounds. And that, on your own map pick, is something that I've always had issue with FaZe for. And I think it does come back to Karrigan and maybe the coach, right? So we'll go through Ancient, okay? Because I think this was the map that was the most egregious to lose, right, as your map pick. We'll start it off, and we'll actually praise Jacob here, because I want to say this is a lot of what Jacob's doing on T side.
Immediately, I seen them with their suitcases at the studio.
Set A play, these are the sorts of plays that were working for FaZe. These were the sorts of plays they were calling.
So quite the run.
Yeah.
Jacob is running in first. This player is up close, right? And you just want to run this guy down while he's still in the open. Even if you give away your life, it sets up a nice trade.
Long distance here with Jux. Well, he's ready to go.
And Jacob holds W, and he peaks pretty much when the flash goes off. This player has to look at him, and then boom. Twist has a very easy trade kill.
Oh, Jacob's going to go down first, and then...
And now this donut player has to back off through the smoke, and you're getting onto the
him
side.
off. His Karrigan froze.
And it's all good, right? Like, that's a lot of what Jacob's having to do. He's doing a lot of those hard entry jobs, which I think he's actually doing pretty well. It just means that his T side numbers are sometimes going to struggle. Again, though, we saw the CT side numbers were looking dicey, which is the concern. Okay, so that's a good round. But then as we get into the half, it just kind of like goes wrong with little things, right? Like here, for example, Karrigan here is like messing around with a bomb in spawn, and I have no idea why. Okay, because we'll look from the start of the round.
It's Galil for Brokey.
Karrigan initially has to throw the smoke, which he does.
AK's otherwise.
And then he like goes back for the bomb.
Now Foot starting to.
But then he doesn't even keep the
Quite
bomb.
impressive.
He just throws it to a
Quite honestly.
teammate. And while this is happening,
Playing some solid CS. Here.
Twist is getting this B control.
They're good protocols.
Jacob's getting out mid, that's fine.
Their shots.
But you can see in this small timing window, this player's about to push into round.
No panics, no blunders.
And this player now, Krabity, he's pushed in before Karrigan's got here, alongside Twists, who's got up to hold cave. And I literally have no idea why Karrigan needed to hang around at spawn.
See if they can hold on.
And he ends up just walking through on this aggressive play that the CTs have
Acting
made.
to the Karrigan push to the doors. It's going to be an opening kill off the back of the ramp push and a second.
And then you get a second kill and you're like, oh, okay. Well, that's a round that we just have to throw away, right? That's a bit of a shame.
That's how it looks like a
And this is the other thing, is that on this map, Jacob is playing mid a lot of the time, which I think is quite a hard role to actually play in the default, right? There's a lot of decisions to make there, right? And you kind of see, I think, that being somewhat of an issue as well. Like, for example, here, I don't know who you would blame it on here, but
to me, Dinko,
this feels like a very ambitious move from FaZe.
4 players on this side of the map.
Jacob is alone towards
They
mid.
smoke towards the heaven area as well.
There's clearly a lot of CT util here.
A lot of utility
And the
damage.
move seems to just be...
Pop an open set. Smoke towards the heaven
I can't remember who it is, but someone, I think it's Frozen here, is just flashing him in.
area as well.
It's just like one jump thrown flash,
A lot of utility damage. Pop an open set smoke.
and then like Jacob tries to come through this smoke. And obviously they have mid control established. Unless that's a god flash, he's just going to go down. And these B players have been cut off, so they can't even help him. So it's like, oh,
It's going to be Lance to find the opener.
Here it
and
comes.
Demon, okay. He could have got away with
down a man. And then from
a little
here,
bit more there. I think he could have gone for that pick, but happy with the 5-on-4 opening gambit.
Just
Yeah, just wouldn't
one
go away.
last ramp though. We'll take
they kind of try to call for this faster B play.
Here we go then. The B finish is coming.
Blocked again at the ramp though.
Smoke was blocked, but again, Karrigan's just like kind of ending up being alone while Frozen decides to hold the flank because they haven't got mid yet.
Wow.
Trying to come out through cave. Krabeni, it's going to take one down. Oh,
Twist actually does an insane job. He still manages to bail them out into the bomb site.
my
Nice.
God,
Here he
Twist,
is.
okay. He's had enough. Entries into the B bomb site with some style as Demon gets taken out 3v3.
He's done really well with that incendiary, though. Denies the plant, allows the rotations to come through. Oh my goodness, he's actually got him.
It's a really good spam back, and they go on to win this now that the bomb's been denied, right? And I don't know, it just doesn't feel like any of these rounds are like fully controlled. Like you wouldn't watch this and say, yeah, FaZe are the top team just trying to like play with their food and having the procedures in place. And again, maybe they don't have those yet because they haven't had the practice time, but you would think when they're picking a map, they would have this. Because they were either doing a lot of these early round plays, which sometimes would work, or if they were defaulting, it felt like they were just kind of sitting about. And they weren't really like doing anything to make the opponents uncomfortable, weirdly.
Oh, there's the first bit of missed util. Okay, maybe it's on purpose. I don't think so, but I think that was supposed to go to...
Benefit of the doubt.
Here in this one, we're going to get this clean entry from Frozen.
Well, here goes Demon. Gonna try to go. Oh, okay. Well,
That's a nutty shot, right? And it's like from here, you got it.
head appears and immediately Demon.
But again, they kind of just sit around for a fair while.
First advantage phase of
Eventually, we get the smokes in.
had in some time.
But then I kind of feel like Karrigan should just follow Twist into cave, or at least you probably want 2 in cave. Maybe not the bomb.
Be careful, those wallbangs, Karrigan.
Because now you get some good smokes in, but now this fight is huge.
Zoogs, Krabeni.
And Krabeni lands a nutty shot to win it, and now you don't have cave control as you're moving into the site, and that's actually really awkward to deal with.
Icing back here, Twist rocks in towards that cave.
And Krabeni gets a second kill, and they get a bit unlucky as there's a spam kill through the smoke.
Heavy damage. Oh my goodness, they're doing it once.
You can see, like, finally Brokey trades, but it's like a little too easy to lose all those players.
Versus 2.
They're just absolutely fine. The boost is so quickly.
And again, Foot going to win that one. And again, none of these are like that bad. It's just like, it just felt uninspired, right? And when it's your map pick, I know you haven't had that much time, but just focus on a couple of maps and get them good is what you'd think. And it just didn't feel like we really had that, right? And then I think here they try and start to go into this default play again.
You can see Demon going to be
But when they were defaulting, it feels like they just take somewhere on the map and they kind of sit about.
baited in as well by that red room. Zoogs.
And then Foot just made one aggressive play. They find this fight against Karrigan.
High pressure moment, but against...
And boom, they're up to an advantage. And it didn't feel like FaZe, like every time, it just felt like they'd take map control, they'd sit back, and they'd let Foot kind of just like make the play back.
Karrigan comes out on top. Taking away. Smoke down into towards the
And again, because there hasn't been that much pressure on the map, they've got a counter smoke.
area. Got it off one back in return. That's a really nice protocol, Dinka.
Really well timed, completely cuts off this push.
Whatever they wanted to do, you've just completely shut it down.
And then Krabeni, like, oh my, sneaking past Frozen like this.
Oh my god, Krabeni!
Oh!
Aggressive.
Ridiculous. Frozen's still sitting there behind him. He gets 2 kills just by disrespecting the smoke, right? And again, it's that info play they're not ready for.
Play into the double kill. Frozen has to sacrifice his teammates to go for this, to take a risk to get back into a CT. He's got to get him.
And yeah, obviously 2v4, very hard to win. They can't really do it.
The all-important
Then
second.
from here, okay. This is what was annoying as well, right? You've won the pistol, right? You've won the pistol into the second half, right? What is the one thing you need to be ready for on Ancient, okay? Say it with me. It's a B rush, right? You're on the CT side, you've won the pistol, just be ready for the B rush, right? This is like matchmaking stuff, man. This is how I lose every matchmaking game, is I win the pistol, and then my B players aren't ready to hold the B site. And what do we get?
Round, rush B.
Molly in, smoke the molly. This is literally what I call in matchmaking on every second round, T-Ancient.
It's a classic, Dinko. We all love it. Will it work out?
Swiss can't get a kill. Karrigan's not even really fighting with him. This is not good from Karrigan, by the way.
Oh,
But
yeah.
Foot, it looks quite promising.
Oh, my lord.
My god, okay.
It's looking very good, but here comes Frozen.
Frozen gets a couple, and you've just lost the site. And it's like, if it's your map pick, right, against an underdog team, just try and make them do something really hard to beat you, right? Just like, do not lose to the B-Rush like that, right? Like, it's a bit unlucky maybe on twists. Like, he kind of gets sniped at range with a running Mac 10, I'm pretty sure it is. But still, it's just the most obvious call. I feel like you've got to be ready to deal with that. Then in this one, bit of aggression.
1-14, but it looks like they've got some awareness here.
And Jacob maybe not quite fully ready.
Oh, my.
Frozen trades him. It's all good. It's all good.
It's a great opening kill. But
Frozen, here comes the final push of 3 players.
And again, you do still have Karrigan, like, sometimes just alone on sites, and
Towards the top of the ramp, Karrigan ready to mow them down.
he just goes down. Not great again, but also kind of not sure entirely why Twist isn't ready to trade here. I think this cave smoke is maybe fading like somewhat soon, but not that soon. I feel like he could be further forward, ready to try and trade. Maybe.
My god, Jukes is quick on that, but Twist has been looking sharp over the last few rounds.
it's a good
Just
Molotov.
not really in a position to be able to shut this down.
He still gets it into a 3v3, to be fair, which isn't bad.
But then he goes back out. Symmetry is caught. Twist going to be happy enough with one of those kills. And a 3 coming up from long range fight.
Should be fine here. Very low HP.
And again, to Foot's credit, they land a lot of nice shots through this to win this map.
It's a big pickup, though, by Zoogs. Bomb ticking at some pace. No utility on the CT side. Comes down to individual skill.
That's a great shot as Brokey's holding.
Great shot. 1 versus 1.
Yeah, Brokey, he knows where Jukes is, but the time it'll start to tick.
And then we get the repeat. And honestly, great shots and good post-plant play. But again, not quite everything. And okay, here's the last round, right? And you see, this is the molly that Jacob's throwing a lot of the time, right? Covers off quite a lot of mid. Pretty much all of this, you're going to take some damage if you go through, right? I don't know if this was on purpose or not, but in this last round...
We're in round 24.
One last...
Look at the molly we get instead. We get this one, right? And you can see there is a big path that can easily be ran through on this side. And this is as the CTs are clearly trying to take mid, right? And I don't know if this was on purpose, but I don't feel like this is the molly you want here, personally.
Chance to do it in regulation.
And you'll see they are able to get out. Jacob's up top.
Here comes Foot. Good.
Completely blinded.
Finding Jacob.
As is frozen. They're able to run through.
Oh, they managed.
In some games...
And again, it was, I'm pretty sure, yeah, it was Jacob's molly there.
Can bring us into overtime. One last chance to do it in regulation.
And yeah, you can see, like, this is the exact path that they're easily able to come through. And the flashes are good, don't get me wrong.
Here comes Foot. Good opener, finding Jacob. Oh.
And I don't know if the molly would have made the biggest difference, but you get what I mean. It's these little things. Overall, oh, I've still got a drawing on. There we go. I can give myself a little smiley face. Sweet. Overall, listen, I just feel as though, as I was saying earlier, when you have Karrigan, and I don't think Karrigan's perfect, as we've seen there. I think a lot of that actually is Karrigan at times, like, not being 100% on top of things yet, right? And that is maybe to be expected, but I just don't see the upside, right? I don't see the upside. I don't see the high potential with this guy that would make him worth the risk. That's all it is. That's all it is. And again, with FaZe and Karrigan right at the end of his career, with the other players on this team, they should be thinking in their heads, we need to win now. And this move, I just don't feel like it's it, right? Even if Jacob is going to become a good player, it'll be like a year from now. I don't think Karrigan's got that much time to wait around, man. I want to see Karrigan win trophies. Anyway, that is it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you next time.